While it's in my heart, while it's in my heart right now, I would like to share with you that today is the beginning of the new year, 2024. And of course, I've been missing my mom. I have been missing her ever since I started this series and way before, since the day that she left this earth. But what I want to share today with you is that I was talking to my father and I was trying to figure out, in these moments that I have with the people that are still here on earth, what a joy it would be to hear the recording of them, to have for whenever they do leave here, or just to have the memory of a conversation that we would have. And in doing so, I went to search for a recording that I had of being a business owner. We record calls so that our students can go back and listen to the recordings and pull out or pick apart their sessions. So I was thinking about doing the same thing for my dad and I's conversation with his permission. And then I kind of went to the app and I realized that the app subscription had canceled, and I paid for the app again, and it had all of these recordings in it. So I started searching through the recordings because I remember in the moment after speaking with my dad that my mom and I remember I recorded her voicemail of herself on her phone because she was on my phone line before she passed, and I took the voicemail that she had when people would call her phone off of her phone, and I saved it on the recording system, the app that I have for my students to go back and preview their sessions. So in doing so, looking back through those recordings and trying to figure out which recording it was, because it wasn't labeled, it just said untitled. I was trying to figure out which recording it was. So I started pressing all these buttons, and in pressing the buttons, I realized that I had recorded us before she passed. So there was about a 34-minute conversation between my mother and I before she passed about how she wasn't eating, she wasn't feeling well in a previous conversation, and she hadn't been eating for about a week at that point. And so we were just having a conversation about that. And we had a conversation about her wanting to still be here, that she wasn't trying to check out. We had a conversation about a couple of other things, and at the end of the conversation, we were getting ready to get off, and I told her that I would see her the next day, which I did. It was Labor Day, and this was the night before Labor Day, about 11 p.m., because she was a late nighter like myself, probably, which is where I get it from. But anyway, so she said at the very end, I said, I'll see you tomorrow. And she said, okay. And she said she loves me. And I just was thinking, number one, I'm just so grateful to run upon this on the very beginning of the 2024 year. And these are the kind of surprises that I truly believe that God is going to reveal to me all throughout this year. the suddenlies, but that are good suddenlies, that are not things that are so tragic and harmful and all types of calamities. I'm praying that, it's going to be a really great year. But this is one of the greatest things that I could have found in search of trying to get permission to record my father in our next conversation, just so that, I'll have a keepsake, a conversation that we would have of whatever he wants to talk about, just so that I could play his voice whenever, because I think about the things that I wish that I had, and this was one of them, a conversation to be able to hear my mom's voice again. And I don't even remember recording her and but I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad that I have this recording, because to hear her voice again, it just totally broke me down. And that's one of the things about this whole process of losing someone that you really love and care for. The process of not knowing when you're going to have that breakdown, when you're going to have a moment to where you're really going to truly go in deep grieving of missing them. And it's really okay, my husband and I, because I ran to him and told him what happened, and he just embraced me in his arms, and I'm very grateful for my husband. He is such a great man. I was having a conversation with him after about 20 to 30 minutes of getting myself together, just crying, honestly, not even trying to get myself together, but just to understand that when you do grieve, it doesn't last permanently forever. It is a touch and go type of situation. It happens and it lasts for maybe an hour or so, sometimes longer, sometimes not so long. And that's okay. And when I got done, we were just talking, and I was just so grateful, telling him that I was so grateful to have the opportunity to carry this into this new year, but really for the rest of my life, to be able to hear her voice, because that was one of the things that I really wanted to hear, and to hear it in a conversation with both her and I. And then I was also thinking about how so many people don't have that voice recording, and so many people don't have that recording of their significant other, their parent, their child, their family member, their sibling, their friend. They don't have a recording of them before they passed away, and how tough it may be to remember what they sounded like, what they looked like, what they smelled like, what they felt like, just the atmosphere, being in their presence, what that was like, and just missing that within itself of the person who you lost. It's such a big deal. And so I cherish memories, but I also cherish the things that I still have, like my mom's smell, because I inherited her home, and every time I walk in there, pretty much most of the things are still intact. But I'm responsible for allowing the home to be how it needs to be. And right now, I really haven't done a whole lot, because one, I just want to remember her as she put everything, where she put it, how it looks, how it is, and just take care of the place. But I want us to think about, that it's really okay to not be okay, is what my husband and I were discussing. it's really okay that we get to a point where we just let ourselves sit in our tears and the hurt of missing someone that we love so dearly, that we loved like maybe the deepest love that we've ever had of our lives, that God would even give us an opportunity to feel that way about a person or about people. You know, that is a beautiful experience. And I think that we should understand that it's really okay to not be okay. Because today, I wasn't okay. Today, I was all right to be not okay. And that's what I want you guys to understand and know. It's really okay to not be okay.